What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is going to be a performance analysis of Home Free covering Brothers in Arms. Let's go.
These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me. But my home is the lowlands, and always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and you'll no longer burn to be brothers in arms. Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battles raged high. And though they did hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
Okay, pause. There's so much going on. The first thing I want to point out is the supporting harmonies before Tim comes in. This first part of the harmonies really lay the foundation of the song, and this the lyrics to this song they touch the heart, really. If you understand the meaning of the lyrics, it's about anti-war, about peace, and about this camaraderie that you have with your brothers that fought with you in war. And just this this eternal gratefulness is what I get from it. So the very beginning, you've got these really beautiful both consonant and dissonant harmonies happening. What I liked was one of the top melodies, I don't know if it was the uppermost or the one right below, but had a moving line, whereas the other ones kind of stayed a bit more stagnant. And when that was happening, it kind of just brought some new energy to the harmony. But what was interesting is when Tim came in to introduce the first part of the lyrics of the song, that went away. It came back once, but when it came back at the end of the phrase, just to kind of sweeten the end of a phrase, and then it disappeared.
mist-covered mountains for me, but my home is the lowlands, and always will be.
I thought that was a cool choice because it allowed Tim's line and everything Tim needed to say, which these are very important lyrics. It allowed them to be the center of attention. Not only that, the swells and how they all came together for all of the dynamic choices is really nice. And that is not easy to do. They've been together for a while, so they know each other's voices, they know how to listen to each other, and of course with a lot of practice, you practice all of those swells, so you make sure everyone is crescendoing at the same time. You make sure everyone's decrescendoing at the same time. And to memorize all of that, and to understand when to do that, and even why it's being done within a certain part of the song is really important. And you hear that just so smoothly throughout this whole piece, really, so far of what we've heard. Then I wanted to say, oh yeah, how they switched vowels. So they stayed on oo in the beginning and all throughout Tim, and then they switched to ah when Chance started singing, but also incorporated some oohs and ahs in that one too. But there was something else that happened that was really interesting. Can I remember? Oh yeah, they all sang part of the lyrics in part of a line. And I like to listen to that specifically because for me in my brain, I'm always thinking, why did they make that choice? Of all of the lyrics that the background harmonies could have sang with instead of oohs and ahs and vowels, why did they choose to join in on actual lyrics of the song in this part? When the song first started, we heard them singing on an and that stayed pretty much the same until Tim came in. That continued for a bit, and then I believe the uppermost harmony, the tenor part, opened up to an ooh vowel.
These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me, but my home is the lowlands, and always will be.
The and the ooh vowel sound really, really nice together. Then, remember, we had the moving line in one of the uppermost voices, and as Tim came in, that dropped out. It came back once at the end of the phrase, but the important thing is it dropped out. Then, once Tim ended his line, Chance came in and the vowels switched. You heard the incorporation of ahs as well as oohs, so a mixture of a couple of vowels. And then, for the first time, we hear them actually singing lyrics, not just vowels or ms. They decided to join in on the words, hurt me so bad. And we actually get a bit of a hint that they're going to join in on the lyrics on the line as the battle raged high. You heard them open up a bit on the word high to an open vowel, which high has, and they kind of accentuated that vowel. And then Chance kept going with the line, and though they did, and then they joined on hurt me so bad.
Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battles raged high, and though they did hurt me so bad.
Now, as a performer, as an analyst, I'm always wondering, okay, why did they decide to join in on these lyrics of all the lyrics in the piece that we've heard so far? And that's just something to take in. It could have been any lyrics, but they chose these ones. What I think is interesting on this line, and though they did hurt me so bad, it's the first time we really get an understanding of how this person who was singing feels. We've, in the very beginning, got a beautiful painting of what the scene looks like. These mist-covered mountains, but my home is in the lowlands. Your valleys and your farms. You've got, these nouns and these descriptive words to paint the picture of where it is this person is describing. And then we do get, I've witnessed your suffering. And we've talked about how someone else has felt. And then for the first time, we finally hear, they hurt me so bad. And this is when they decided to join in. Now, I don't know if this was a conscious thing they all put together and said, okay, this is why we're going to join in on the lyrics here. But for me, I thought that was a great thing to do. It accentuated that one specific line, which has told us some new information about how finally the person who is singing feels, which is really important. So continuing on, after they joined in on They Did Hurt Me So Bad, the background harmonies went to an oo vowel, and they continued that along, and you hear a lot more of the upper harmonies come forward. Then, when they get to the line, you did not desert me, you hear a sudden drop in register.
And though they did hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
You heard a lot more of those lower harmonies and the lower tones come through, all the way until my brothers in arms. I thought that was an interesting choice. It kind of, I don't know, when you think of these lower tones and, all of the harmonics that happen, you just feel this grounding, this sense of foundation. And to put that partnered with my brothers in arms, it just adds to this level of connection. Then when this is all over, they jump back up into a lot of upper chesty register. Even Tim goes up a bit. And this is all on an ah vowel. It's just like this all of a sudden striking difference compared to what we heard before. We heard lower oohs in the lines just before, and now there was a slight pause, and we've jumped and moved into this new area of the voice, a new area of resonance and shimmering tones and brightness. You got this ah vowel, right?
You did not desert me, my brothers in arms.
And then that line that moves, the ah ha ha ha, that came back. So you hear this as kind of a little bit of a thematic material.
You did not desert me, my brothers in arms. There's so many different worlds, so many different suns,
Wow.
and we have just one world, but we live in different ones.
Interesting.
sun's gone to hell,
Oh.
and the moon's riding high. Let me bid you farewell. Every man has to die, but it's written in the starlight. Every line in your palm. We're forced to make war on our brothers in arms.
Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that I don't know what I was expecting. I always say that in these videos. Something very interesting happened on the lines. There's so many different worlds, so many different suns, and we have just one world, but we live in different ones. One, we now hear everyone joining in on harmonies, but singing the lyrics to the song. Not just oohs supporting harmony and then one voice singing the actual lyrics. Everyone's singing. Then, not only that, the ends of the lines, the very last word, you heard an echoing effect. I think there's like some auto-tune going on in this section as well. Just gives this different dimension of sound, which is nice. But what was interesting was the echoing effect, I believe so it was worlds, suns, world, ones. But the echoing line on the word world, the third line, had a dissonant note on, I think, the last echo. And I don't know if that happened on the other three lines. So let's go back and listen.
There's so many different worlds, so many different suns,
Oh, suns.
and we have just one world, but we live in different ones.
That is so good, you guys. Okay, so I didn't catch it at first, but the echoing lines had more than one note. So there were harmonies going on with the echoing lines, and it just so happened that suns and world, the harmonies were dissonant. What makes this really interesting is the idea of tension. Not just the fact that it's being delayed from the echoing effect, but the fact that there are slight pauses in between each one. And you know, at least in my ear, during these pauses, you almost want to hear that resolution, but you don't hear the resolution. You can continue to hear that dissonant carry on. And then in the next one, and we have just one world, I believe that last harmony also had dissonance in it, and that continue on. And then to hear just the consonants in the word ones is just so nice. The one with worlds, the very first one, was really nice too. I don't know, I'm just tripping. That was a really cool effect. And I also liked that they added that effect because it seems like they're emphasizing plurals. There's so many different worlds and so many different suns. Okay, we're gonna add this echo effect to show that there are lots of different suns. And we have just one world, okay? That's talking about one world, but we live in different ones, okay, to emphasize that though we live in one world, there are different, I don't know. I'm just trying to put all these pieces together. I'm an Aquarius, I'm weird. So I thought that was just a really, really cool effect. Okay, can we talk about the part where Tim comes in just after this and says, now the sun's gone to hell and the moon's riding high. The way they composed around this area, especially when he sings like gone to hell, it sounds so ominous. I think a couple of voices dropped out, so there was a lot more sparsity. I don't know, it just immediately gave me the scene of like just darkness, a bit of fog, the sun's leaving. It was so genius, you all. It was so good.
Now the sun's gone to hell, and the moon's riding high.
Not only that, Tim did something that I thought was really interesting. We haven't seen a lot of movement in this music video. They're all staying pretty much in the same position. None of them are, moving their heads around a lot. No one's taking any steps anywhere. It's just all in one location. So Tim breaks this idea of stillness with the movement of his right arm. And you see the camera really pan in on him and shows that movement, which is a big deal considering we haven't really seen anything like that happen this entire time. And then when we do, it's right at the forefront of the camera. It just puts an emphasis on something is moving. And he does this on the words, but it's written in the starlight.
Every man has to die, but it's written in the starlight.
I thought that touch was so nice. Just, you guys, it's the little dynamic changes that make such big differences in a performance. Tim, that was really, really nice. Also, I don't even understand how you're able to sing that low and also say the word. Like when you go to extreme parts of your register, it just gets that much harder to actually hear a word because it's just hard to pronounce. Well, on this really low note where he sings the word brothers, you just hear that word crystal clearly. That is not easy to do.
We're forced to make war on our brothers in arms.
And then lastly, to point out, I like how this thematic material came back, the moving line that we were talking about earlier. I like how it came back to close this song. You heard it in more voices and you heard it all at the same time. And it just kind of brought this whole song together in terms of, okay, it kind of seems like we're calming down. The theme is coming back, but coming back in a more in-your-face way. It's coming back in a more dominant way. And it just seems like we're coming to some sort of a completion to the song. So well done. This is genius work. Great song too. I've actually never heard this song. Apparently this is a cover. The original was by Dire Straits. So I've got to go listen to that one and hear the difference between the two. Another smash home free. I am thoroughly impressed. Always enjoy listening to all of the intricate harmonies and just thinking about how the creative process is when, coming up with a composition like this. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Comment down below what other song by Home Free I should do a performance analysis on. Lastly, make sure you check out the description box for ways you can keep in touch with me, get access to exclusive perks, and/or take a lesson with me. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!